Welcome to Motor City Knucklehead, where we're going to talk about wrestling, shoe releases, personal paranormal phenomenon, and whatever seems interesting in the comments. If this sounds like something you'd be interested in, hit that follow button and let's get into it. First off, let's talk about Cody Rhodes regaining the championship from Drew McIntyre, aka Jimmy Steve from Shameless. There are two reasons why WWE decided to abruptly take this title off of Drew McIntyre. Number one, unfortunately, the fan base was just not feeling Drew McIntyre's run and him being placed up against Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes again. It didn't work the first time, and it didn't work this time. Number two, the fact that Drew McIntyre is leaving after WrestleMania to go film Highlander anyway, which would mean he would have to give up the title anyway. So let's take the title off of him now, put it on Cody, let Cody have some epic battles. Probably going to all be with Randy Orton because obviously we just seen Randy Orton melt down on SmackDown and absolutely destroy Cody Rhodes and come back as the Viper. I think that's going to be a very interesting battle that we're going to see. Lots of games to be played by Viper, and I think that we're just seeing the start of it. Moving on to the Judgment Day and Finn Balor being kicked out. We've all seen this coming for a while. They've been dropping the signs for a minute that Finn Balor was not really feeling the Judgment Day anymore. And how everybody should be defending themselves and not need help or backup. Which this will open the door to another storyline where I think Finn Balor is going to align himself with people from the past, maybe from the Bullet Club, and bring this together. And they're going to attack Judgment Day. It's going to be a pretty good storyline, I feel. And I think this is a good way to get Finn Balor back into that championship mode by him being a leader of a group. Now on to Rhea Ripley and her devastating promos that have absolutely killed Jade Cargill. I'm pretty sure that the WWE is gearing up for a title run for Rhea Ripley. And I'm really hoping that it's a long one because she deserves it because every time she has the title, she gets injured. And there's a couple reasons why they're taking it off of Jade Cargill. I'm not really interested in any of them because I'm not a fan of Jade Cargill, but the back room is just not feeling her, and the fan base isn't feeling her as a title holder.
It's not so nice to meet you, so why don't you beat it before something bad happens?
Oh, bad happens to me? Guess what? You are cursed.
Get a load of this guy.
I don't know.
He thinks he's a...
Now, here's my favorite topic Danhausen. I absolutely love this guy. I've always liked his character. I believe that AEW dropped the ball on him and just lost control of his character. And WWE has picked him up, and I believe that WWE is going to give this guy a push. He has the number one t-shirt sales, and he's only been here for a couple weeks. Number one t-shirt sales. And I just think that I would like to see him maybe possibly team with R-Truth, but definitely would like to see some in-ring shenanigans. I think that that would be hilarious, and it would be good for ratings, and I definitely know the fans would love it. Let's move on to Seth frickin' Rollins. This new gimmick of his is absolutely ingenious. At the end of the day, we all knew that he was going to be the masked man. And the fact that he's not talking and he's using his own gang of masked men to distract everyone so he can disappear, I feel is absolutely Seth. I feel like this is the best Seth we've seen, and I believe we're going to see more from him in the future. I do believe that he's going to be involved in the title run eventually. I just think that he's going to take out the Vision first. They had to come up with something to take care of the Vision because there's only two members left and the other two are gone. So I believe that once he's done with the Vision, he's either going to be involved against CM Punk or Roman Reigns or maybe both. They might do the three-way again. This is probably the future that Seth is going to be headed for. Moving on to our paranormal segment, where we're going to talk about my paranormal experiences and your guys' paranormal experiences that you're going to leave in the comment section. I will go over them and I will pick the best one for each week and I will read them and I will also maybe fit in another story of mine if there's time. One of the stories that I'm going to start off with is when I was young, there was this lady that lived down the street, and we called her the cat lady. Her name was Sharon. She had like 50 cats, and they were always on her roof, going on her porch in her backyard. She always had some new cat there, and she was always talking to herself. So we just called her the cat lady. And I'm sure as us as little kids probably weren't very nice about what we said about her, but she was very scary. She'd walk up and down the streets talking to herself, and then these cats hung out all around her, and she really didn't have any friends, and I don't think I ever saw any family there. So one day I was at home. I got home from school and I took a shower. I think I played, maybe ran track that day. I came home. My mom was at work. I took a shower and I walked in my bedroom. Now, my bedroom, you could see the backyard through my window, but there was no point in closing the drapes or anything or shade because the backyard was covered with trees. My neighbor had a garage behind us, and next to us, you couldn't see into my bedroom. So I just left the curtains open all the time and never just thought anything about it. So I took my towel off and I turn around. And when I turn around, I look out the window and there's this cat lady staring at me through my window. And I'm freaking out because I'm butt naked. And here's a weird lady staring at my window. So I hurry up and throw some shorts on and run out the door and run out to my backyard. Because I'm thinking as I'm running, I'm like, this lady isn't that tall. How could she get up there? Like, there's no way. So I go in the backyard and I look and there's nobody there. Nobody. So I freak out, panic. I hurry up and turn around and run down and out in my driveway. And I look left, look right, nobody. Nobody at all. So I'm like, okay, she obviously made it back to her house. That lady can move. So I walking back in my house, I get changed, and then I decide to walk down the street, and I'm gonna now confront her because that was very weird. So I go knock on the door, and I knock on the door, and I knock on the door, and finally, after about it felt like 15, 20 minutes of me knocking on the door, this woman answered the door, and it wasn't Sharon the cat lady. And she goes, "How can I help you?" And I said, Is Sharon here?" And she goes, "No, Sharon's not here." I go, "Oh, who are you? Do you mind me asking?" And she says, "I'm her sister." She goes, "What's wrong? Why do you need my sister?" And I said, "Well, she was just in my backyard and I was naked after getting out of the shower in my bedroom and she was peeping in my window." And the lady calmly looks at me and says, "That's not possible." And I said, "Ma'am, I'm telling you what I saw, and I am really disturbed that someone would do that." And she said, "I'm telling you, there's no possible way that it could have been her." And I said, "How could it not be her?" And her sister looks at me and says to me, "She died 2 weeks ago. That was not her." And I absolutely freaked out and didn't know what else to say. Because what do you say at that point when someone gives you irrefutable proof that it wasn't her, that she wasn't lying? And I did notice that there was no cats around. I don't know if that was part of her mystique or paranormal. I don't know. But I noticed that that day on, there was never ever cats there, ever again. And eventually the house sold. But when I was young, there was a lot of paranormal activity in my neighborhood. It was filled with weird things that happened when I was growing up. A lot of unexplainable stuff. We'll hear about that in upcoming episodes. But this story was probably one of the ones that really, like, wow, she's dead. There was no way it could be her. And I felt so nervous about that that I even probably feel like I saw her a couple more times in my neighborhood while I was living there growing up. So that was a pretty scary ordeal for me, especially when you. I know I saw what I saw, and it was just jarring that she was dead and that she died out by the water. Even worse, like I don't even, not even by us. She was on vacation when she died. So it was just a really weird story. What you do? Huh? What you do? Drop your hair all over me so people can't, so other cats can't come by me? Is that what you did? Moving on to our next segment, which will be talking about shoes and shoe releases and shoe business and what is happening in the shoe business right now. We're going to start off by talking about, let's just get down to the nitty gritty. They just introduced on sneakers now that you can reserve shoes before they come out, before they're even made. So that's what that's going to do, is that's going to flood the system even more. Now you have a different option to not get these shoes. Like, there's already people buying a million pairs and then they're reselling them for more money, which is dumb. And StockX and Alias and all them sites like that, I feel contribute to that. And I just think that when you make these shoes, they're already 200, 220, 250, 260. It's you're now you're pricing them out of some people's budget. You're also now putting these rules in effect where you're releasing these shoes in LA and there's mobs of people, long lines. Uh it was insane from some of the videos I've watched, and I have some videos on my own that weren't even those shoe releases that were before that, and they were freaking out in line at a mall by me. So I just feel like you just need to make more shoes. It's especially if it's gonna be a popular style, popular brand. Those Jordan Levi jeans ones, those went before you could even fucking hit the button. Like, you got on the sneakers and you went to go to that shoe and boom, gone. No chance. So I feel like they need to stop with that and just make enough shoes. Like, and I also think that there should be a limit to how many they can buy. I know that some are bots and all this other weird AI future tech crap, but that shouldn't be an option. It it should not be an option. And I think that it's a way to cheat the system. And doing this, all these things are cheating the system. Reserve, now you can order the shoes before they're even made. That's going to just add on to what people are going to buy when they buy them. It's already hard enough to buy them, and now you're going to tell people, well, don't worry, you can buy them before they're even made. So now your line is going to be even longer. And I just, it's just, you're just trying to make the market smaller, and it's hurting everybody because people want those shoes. And I understand collectible value and what you're trying to do with the collectible, I the style of the shoe, but I just feel like every shoe's a collectible now. So it's like every shoe that you're releasing is a collectible now. I mean, come on, that's just dumb. And then you release some really downright ugly shoes. Those GTs that look like they're alien spaceships. I mean, I've heard bad ratings on them from several sites, and that they're not great basketball shoes, and your feet slosh around in them, and they don't really tighten good, and the laces are garbage. So I mean, like, that shoe's $250. Take that shoe off the market. Put another Jordan out there. Like, I don't know. I just feel like you could be releasing a different Jordan almost every month. There's so many. And you're not. And when you do, they're gone. So I think it needs to go back to where supply and demand. Period. If you do supply and demand, you will be okay. And I think you'll be able to supply to the public in a good way. And we're not getting supply in a good way right now. That release in LA, someone got stabbed. There was a riot at a certain part of the day. I believe it was right when they opened the gates. It's just that's too much anticipation for a shoe, and then they're just gone because of so many people sitting there. And I don't think they're letting them buy them like in LA. I don't think in LA they were allowed to buy, 10 pair, 20 pair, but I do know that on the internet you can get away with that. So I just there needs to be some tougher regulations, I feel like. So all the public can have these shoes. Um that's huge. That'll be huge in any shoe market. And then you have the normal everyday shoes that releases. Maybe they release an Air Jordan 1. Maybe they release, a low top, Air Forces, and those are priced normal. Those are 125 to 140. But at the same time, those are not what everybody wants. So those are available. Just like the infrareds, just like the flights, just like the Jordan 12s and 11s that sit there. They just, some of them aren't movers, which I don't understand because I will take any four. I will take any three. I mean, even if it was fluorescent, I'd still take it. They're a very good shoe. A five, I would take any color five. That's all about comfort for me. It's and what they look like. I don't color is nothing. It's just a color. But that is a huge development in the sneaker business that now sneakers says that you can reserve before they're even made. Now moving on to another section of the shoes department is how available the normal shoes are. It seems like there is a oversupply of the normal Jordans, the Air Jordan ones, the ones that they think are going to be going off the chain that don't go off the chain. Even the infrared. The infrared are at every shoe store now. You can go into Champs, you can go to Foot Locker, you can go into any one, and they're there. So, I mean, I believe even Dick's, you can even get them at Dick's now. So it's like, why did you put so much pressure on those shoes and making everybody all the stupid Facebook reels and the commercials and all that stuff about, ooh, the infrareds, and they just sit there. They're not even attractive because they're different colored black throughout the shoe. So it's quality. Like you made this shoe and now it's sitting there when you could have made more of the Levi's. And I understand you're limiting them because you want them to be collectible, but like I'm not saying supply it to the whole world. But like you need to make a little bit more if you're going to do special releases at malls where people can't fly to LA and go do that. That's just dumb. You have to live in LA to get those shoes. And you have to know about these releases before they happen because I didn't know it was happening until I saw the Facebook reels and I'm into shoes. I'm in the business. So it doesn't make sense to me how you have a special release. You have all these lines of shoes. They had all these warning label shoes that came with that special briefcase, formed like the shoes. And I thought that was cool, but they were gone. And the only warning labels that are left are like ugly ones. It's always what nobody wants is the ugly ones. And I just get rid of the ugly ones. Take a poll. Send people email. Send you know, you have all this information from us throughout the world, technology. You have everybody's email and name and address. I don't care how you figure it out, but figure it out and take a poll. Say, hey, these shoes we're thinking about releasing these shoes. What do you think as a Nike customer? What do you think is this? Blah, 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 blah. That's marketing. You'll find out that way you have an idea of what's going to sell instead of just putting it out there and saying, well, it might sell, might not. Might just sit there. We might have 20 million of these shoes that just don't move. So step up your game. Like, for real, the shoe world used to be a cool thing to be a part of, and now it's getting frustrating because shoe hogs are buying all the shoes and selling them, and they're having these early releases, and now they released this new info about being able to reserve. I was thinking it makes it way tougher on the normal guy to get a pair of Jordans that he wants to get. Most of these shoes, some people just buy them to wear them. Like, normal people that are buying the shoes from them in bulk are bots, and it's a company, and they're trying to get 100 of them so they can freaking resell them and make a profit, which is bullshit because the shoes that you're selling, you're making 100 to $125 price increase because no one can get them. So it's just the scalpers. It's like tickets. It's getting out of control. Comment in the section. Let me know how you feel about what I've been saying. If you agree, if you disagree. If you have any comments about my wrestling segment, or if you have any comments about my paranormal segment, feel free to comment in the section. I would love to hear your comments. And that's it for today.